Hello everybody, and welcome to It's All a Work. Tonight we are joined once again, by HangyMangy. He is back. I posted about it on the Facebook, just to let everybody know that he would be coming back tonight. Joined
yes,
also...
his OnlyFans run is over.
Yep, yeah, he did his OnlyFans PPV or whatever, and now we're good.
We're good. Check it out. Hangy Slinky. Hangy Slinky. Let's do it.
I thought it was like Make the Room Dark 2000 or something. I don't know. Anyway, look.
That's her old profile.
Oh, gotcha. All right, and also, as always, to my left, right, or whatever the direction is, Mr. Dreschen over here, and it's me, your boy, Big T. Of course, y'all already know who I am. You've heard my voice enough. Tonight, we're going to go over SmackDown. We had a decent SmackDown. We actually answered a bunch of questions, I think. What is Rey Mysterio going to be doing for WrestleMania? I think we may have answered that question. I think we answered the question, who is going to be the last two tag teams in the six-pack tag tournament at WrestleMania. I think we even have an answer to what's going to happen with the WWE women's tag team titles at WrestleMania. So we'll get into all of that right now. I am posting our link tree. It is linktr.ee /it's_all_a work. Please check it out. Follow us on all our links. Join in on the conversation on any social media platform that we have, including Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, here on Twitch, and anything else. Oh, and the Twitter. HangyMangy runs the Twitter, so if you want to talk to him, hit him up on the tweet box. Or the
My
Xbox.
DMs are open.
I guess we can't say Xbox. Anyway, let's jump right into it. Obviously, every week we do the same thing. We start off, we see Cody Rhodes and Damage Control entering the building, and we get a reminder of the segments and the matches that are gonna come into the night. It's really funny that what happened tonight, or that night happened. Dresh and I were talking about it on Thursday, how it's been a very long time since we've jumped right into a match. And I think one of our viewers must be from WWE Corporate, because this is the first time in a very long time that we jumped straight into a match. Just so happened to be...
I can't say you jumped straight into a match. There was filler behind that. They showed the previews.
What he means by that is we didn't
happened.
jump into a 30-minute long rant by Cody Rhodes or
That's
by The
fair.
Rock or by anybody else. We actually dropped in, we got a quick overview, and then bam,
right
into bullshit.
Right? Yeah, right. and that's what it's been, right, Dresh? Right, guys? It's basically been bullshit for the last month.
I do hate to say that I'm looking forward to Mania just so people shut the fuck up.
Yep.
I hate to say that.
Yep. And the talking's always going to be there. It's just, when Mania's coming, they make Mania so big. They make Mania the focal point. And then what ends up happening is every single thing is blah, 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 WrestleMania. And it happens with the other pay-per-views too, but it just seems a little bit more emboldened now. And, you don't get a lot of competition, like a lot of hard, like really great competition around WrestleMania, because no one wants to be injured during WrestleMania season. So it's, WrestleMania season is good, but it's also good for it to be over.
I mean, that's what it is, though. Nobody wants to be injured, and also they want to save the best wrestling for WrestleMania. That's what they want to do. Like, if you have an A+ match on a random SmackDown, and you get some C's on WrestleMania, they're gonna talk about that. People are gonna notice that. So you might as well save it up for WrestleMania.
That's fair. So, let's get right on into it. Rey Mysterio repping the LWO versus Santos Escobar repping Legado del Fantasma. It's a pretty good match, pretty hard hitting. Obviously a grudge match, and it was supposed to cap off a feud between these two, between Mentor and Master. So let's get into it. Match starts off with a quick pace and Rey taking control, goes for a springboard at one point, sells the knee injury, and even though he keeps control for a moment, Santos will be trying to use this knee as a focal point throughout the match. Santos takes control. He gets an exclamation on his run with a great sit-down drop kick on Rey, but Rey takes control again using a Hurricane Rana, and then a sliding splash as we go to a commercial break. Come back from that.
So, I want to talk about that sliding splash. Now, normally when he throws somebody off the ring with the Hurricane Rana, normally it's an over-the-top jump on top, springboard dive, whatever.
Yeah, suicide
dive.
He
did a slide. He did a slide this time. Do you think he's showing his age, or do you think he's just keeping himself safe?
He's been doing that slide for a minute.
He was cradling the knee a little bit, though. I think is what he was doing. He was giving himself a little bit of a, still trying to take it to the outside, but he didn't want to risk hurting himself, is what I think.
Okay. So, and yeah, I mean, maybe he does a couple other high-risk moves in this match, but I will say that slide-out splash, he's been doing that for a while now. That has become a normal part of his move list. I will say that this one actually, for me, the thing that popped out about it to me is that it was actually a longer slide splash than he normally does. I mean, it was a solid 8 feet that he had to do that slide splash on.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's pretty dope. I mean, I don't know about y'all, but I can't do that. I don't even know if I'd be able to make a 5-foot slide splash.
First of all, I can't fit under the rope, like the bottom rope at that, so no, I ain't doing that.
That's fair. So we're gonna come back from commercial, and Santos has Rey in a submission hold. By the way, I don't know how to do this. We're gonna start adding different things to the stream. I would like to add a counter for every time we come back from a commercial break and somebody's in a submission hold, like a rear naked choke. Like, I know that's what they do, but I just want to start counting it. And if somebody from WWE has been watching this, because it just so happens to be that every time we say something, WWE changes it up. It's happened actually more than once. So,
it has. It really has.
Maybe they'll start changing stuff because of us. Who knows? We're nobodies. Anyway. So yeah, he has Rey in a submission hold, and Rey is trying to fight back. During the break, that we see that Rey actually suffered a power bomb to the ring post, and then a repeat of his knee being smashed in the steel stairs. Santos continues to work Rey until he puts him on the top rope, and Rey hits a double boot for a brief hint of momentum, but Santos throws him straight to the other corner, sternum first, and then hangs him in the tree of woe, where Rey Mysterio reverses a running spear and then does a dive from the top rope to the outside to Santos, which is kind of, to my point, is like, maybe he was taking it safe there, but when you're jumping off that top rope to the floor, you ain't taking it safe. Ain't nothing safe about it.
No.
Rey then gets his like kind of face comeback run and takes full advantage of it by flipping and flying around everywhere. He gets a near fall at the end of this. He hits some decent moves. He sets up Santos for the 619, but he gets reversed, and he ends up getting a face slam from it for his troubles from Santos for a near fall. Santos talks some trash to Rey, and Rey gets angry and starts kicking Santos, and this ends up with Santos being on the outside of the ring. Rey uses the announcer's table as a weapon to hit a seated senton all the way in the ring keeper's area. So he runs from that announcer's table and he jumps over that gap into the ring ring keeper's area, bell keeper. When they work back inside, Mysterio sets him up for the top rope Hurricane Rana, which has been his signature move throughout his entire career. But Dominic Mysterio, wearing a Rey Mysterio mask, comes out, grabs the leg to distract him, which leads to Santos hitting the 619, setting him up for the Phantom Driver, and Santos Escobar is going to win this one via the Phantom Driver. What do you guys think of the match? Where do you think this is headed? And I want to see if either one of y'all may have a thought that I'm having. So let's see what y'all think.
I think that the match itself was a very good match. Considering it was Santos Escobar, you know, I was expecting the interference. And there's TikTok later, you know, it shows the two of them in Dom in the hallway talking to him beforehand, saying he wants to make sure his father never does anything in WWE again. The way I look at it is from a storyline perspective. Maybe it's WWE finding that it's time to retire Rey Mysterio. Maybe it's time he steps back from the mask and takes a behind-the-scene role, because you can only hurt a man so many times, you know. Not everybody's Edge.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm not sure. I wasn't expecting Dominic Mysterio to come out. I was expecting more of maybe the rest of his crew, the Legado del Fantasma. But maybe it's, I don't know, maybe it's a retirement match coming soon. Like Josh was saying, you know, they're trying to make sure Ray has his way out, and what a better way to go out than have a father versus son match.
Okay.
Father versus son for retirement.
All right. So, from this situation, there's been a lot of buzz about it, obviously. Just like you guys were saying, like, people didn't really expect Dom to come out. It's kind of out of nowhere. A lot of people are saying it feels rushed. There are a lot of people saying that it's going to be Ray's retirement match. That Dominic's going to have him put it on the line. Mm-hmm. Dominic currently holds a win over his father. So I heard something that I thought was pretty intriguing, which is Dominic and Ray doing a two of three WrestleMania match. Meaning next WrestleMania, Ray does his retirement match. So Ray goes over at this WrestleMania, and then we see Dom going over at next year's WrestleMania, retiring his father. One thing that I don't see anybody saying that I think is going to happen is, if it does not happen next week, then it will be happening at WrestleMania. And what that is Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. So Rey Mysterio said Dragon Lee is the future of Lucha Libre. Dominic has aligned himself with Escobar. Escobar has a feud with both. Dominic has a feud with Ray. And by association, Dominic now has a feud with Dragon Lee. So I can see that being a thing. That's all I got for that.
Yeah.
I personally love Rey Mysterio, and I think I did a whole post today on the Facebook about how decent I think Dominic is. Mm-hmm. So I think if that's what they end up doing, it'll be a good match. But I think if they add in Dragon Lee, it'll be phenomenal. I'm not too high on Santos, but
I mean, he's a good wrestler. I mean, for the storyline, it makes sense.
Yes, for the storyline, it makes sense. I was just thinking about it today, though. If Santos didn't have the LWO, and if Santos didn't have Ray to fight with, to feud with, where does he go? He doesn't really fit anywhere. Like Dragon Lee, I feel like can find his way. Dominic obviously can find his way. I don't think Santos is the same way.
Well, he's had past feuds, and now that Andrade's back, possibly a team up with Andrade or a segment with Andrade. But remember, now that Dom and Santos are, clicking up, maybe they add Andrade in. Maybe Dom breaks away from Judgment Day as it goes to its downfall at WrestleMania.
Could be.
It's just a thought, because I mean, you see how he's just having side conversations with Andrade. Him and Rhea are having side conversations. Now all of a sudden he's with Escobar. It's a little weird, but
it's true. They could be building to something greater. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we're going to end up getting a trailer showing what happened the previous Friday with Dakota Kai and Bayley, and Naomi coming out to help. We cut to Bayley thanking Naomi, and Bianca comes up and says that while she didn't mean for Naomi to get involved or get hurt last week, she sure meant it when they were doing it to her every week, meaning Bianca Belair. She also says that Bayley deserves everything that she has coming, and maybe she'll finally realize that there are consequences to her actions. Bayley tries to apologize, but it's kind of fruitless, and they end up getting in a shouting match, and Naomi removes Bianca from the situation, basically. We go to a commercial and come back. We cut to seeing Cody randomly signing photos in the back. And with that, they use that as kind of a catalyst for Bianca and Naomi to kind of walk by, and they're going back and forth about, Bianca's resentment for Bayley. Naomi says that she can't change the past, but she's still going to go out there and handle business. She said that they are taking them out one by one, and she can't do it alone, just like Bianca couldn't do it alone. They, obviously meaning Damage Control, was taking them out. And that's when we basically fade into our next match, which is going to be Austin Theory, Grayson Waller versus the OC in a WrestleMania 40 tag team qualifying match for the 6-pack match. That's a ladder match too, right?
Yeah.
Yep, it's a ladder match. It's going to be fun.
Yep. Yep, should be good. So in this match, we're going to start out with Austin and Gallows takes over quickly, tags to Anderson. Anderson gets in some offense, tags right back to Gallows. Waller gets in the ring, and Gallows dominates with his power as Anderson follows up with quick, high-risk moves as per usual. That's kind of their MO. Gallows knocks Waller to the outside with a big boot, where Austin meets him, and Anderson hits a suicide dive before we go to a commercial. When we come back, we actually see Grayson fighting off, or Gallows fighting off Grayson Waller, not in a submission. And Austin gets a tag in to receive a choke slam, which is great. Meanwhile, Waller goes over to try to pull a fast one on Anderson, and Mia Chin gives him a arm drag on the floor outside for his trouble, which was hilarious, by the way. Anderson gets a hot tag in and goes wild on Theory until Gallows gets his tag in. They go for a magic killer, but Waller comes in and messes up the magic killer. Waller throws out Anderson, and Gallows follows up by doing a choke push over the top rope. Like he grabs him by the throat, pushes him over the top rope. At that moment, Austin rolls up Gallows and puts his feet on the top rope as what's his name? Grayson holds his feet. And you have Austin and Waller, Grayson Waller, going over, winning the match via a rope-assisted roll-up. Not a strong win for them, but it's a heel win, which is consistent and I think important.
Yeah. I can't say it was a strong win. Like, I'm not gonna lie, Gallows and Anderson looked really good in that match for some reason, at least from my perspective. And I was just, it threw me off. I'm like, I didn't think I knew it wasn't gonna be a squash, but I was just like, when did they get good? Other than the Buddha Doom and the Magic Killer, they really haven't had any offense.
The Buddha Doom.
The Buddha Doom. So, it was a good showing by them, but like you said, heel win. overall, I thought it was a good match.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. I mean, is Grayson Waller just another one of the stunts like they brought in before? Like, what's the point?
He's very athletic. He's very good.
He is.
And he's a good heel. And that's the thing. That's why it's interesting to see them work with Logan Paul, or if they, we put them with Dominic or something like that. They're these kind of like really like sluggy like pieces of crap heels. Like everyone loves to hate them. Absolutely loves to hate these kind of heels. And that's kind of that's why it made sense to put him and Austin together, because they're that same type. These kind of rat cheating like pieces of crap that can't actually beat anybody, but they're good enough at cheating and they're good enough at taking advantage of the opportunity to win. The difference is that Austin and Grayson actually have some real athletic ability.
Okay. That makes sense.
I say that's kind of their purpose right now, at least.
I will say, Austin Theory, he's, in my eyes, he's gotten a lot better from when he first started. Like,
Austin Theory, I like. It's just Grayson that I don't know.
Give it time, because I was the same way with Austin in the beginning. I was just like, I could care less about him. Now I'm like, you know what? Let's put him on the screen. Let's watch him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I will say that in this tag match and in all of the tag matches, and Dresh and I actually talked about this as well a little bit. They've done a very good job of putting over the tag team that's going to lose, which I like.
We were talking about that on Sunday, where Raw has done a good job with it. SmackDown really made them look like squash matches.
True. Yeah, we did.
Raw
say that.
did a great job.
Yeah, Raw did a fantastic job.
So this time, with this being a SmackDown match, SmackDown has actually done a lot better this week. The matches, the loser didn't look like they were just there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move into a Braun Breaker vignette. And we'll get into talking about this other person as well, but I believe that Braun Breaker and Jade Cargill are going to get major pushes after WrestleMania. I think we've got to wait after WrestleMania. The card's been done, but Jade Cargill and Braun Breaker are both fantastic. But hold the phone with Jade Cargill. Actually, I have another idea for her, but we'll talk about that when we get to it, whenever that is.
Well, Jade Cargill was actually my one of my stories for us tonight, because she has officially signed with SmackDown. So that was one of the news, is in the last couple days, she's officially announced that she has signed with SmackDown.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely she has. Which is exciting. So we're gonna move right into we'll see. We just cut to basically a shot in the back of Iyo with Damage Control walking towards the ring. Right before the match comes up, we get a brief look into Roman Reigns on the Pat McAfee show, talking some stuff about him being the biggest deal in wrestling, and Cody, and basically him being a magnet for Cody, pulling him away from AEW, and him being a magnet for Hollywood because Hollywood came to him, he didn't go to them, that kind of thing. Basically him bragging on himself from the Pat McAfee show. I didn't watch it.
I want to pause it right there. Now, the whole, Hollywood came to him. Is that not a shot at The Rock? I like a little slight shot at The Rock.
Oh, it was. It totally was.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to see if anybody else noticed that, because it was like, The Rock, I did, because they were watching everything we were doing over here with the Bloodline. AEW, Cody came over here. The Rock, Hollywood came to me. I'm like, word. All right, that's gonna have some backlash.
Yep,
it has to.
There's a slight bit of animosity there, and you can tell. And there's two questions that need to be asked. Tonight. First question, and we're about to get to it. Where was Bayley? Second question, where was The Rock? We're going to get to it. And we're going to talk
specifically said he wouldn't be back until April 1st. He made a Twitter post, I think it was, saying he wouldn't be back on either brand until April 1st.
Oh. All right, well, we have the answer to that question, so let's get into the next question then. So we're going to go
Bailey
to Naomi versus Iyo Sky.
Bailey was in the building.
Huh?
I said Bailey was in the building, if I remember right.
Exactly, that's my point. So, Naomi versus Iyo Sky with damage control. What's up, G? What do you got?
No, get into it. Get into it. I'm waiting on that.
All right, so we're going to jump right in. We start with Iyo going for a lockup, but Naomi isn't having any of that. She goes straight for some...
Oh, you missed the part. Iyo beat the crap out of Bailey before she got into the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was backstage beating the crap out of Bailey.
That's where Bailey was.
Oh.
Bailey was laid out.
So
yeah.
I didn't watch it live. I watched the rerun, and they must have cut that out because that was not in the... that wasn't in there.
Yeah.
Or I would have made note of that.
Yeah.
Very
Bailey
interesting.
got dropped like a stack of potatoes.
Yeah,
very interesting. Okay, so if that is the case, that doesn't create any animosity then. So I take all that back. We can just take out that entire last 4 minutes of me asking where people were because apparently all those questions were answered. Son of a bitch. All right, well I guess I'll stop watching reruns then. Apparently I'm missing stuff. That's actually the second time it's happened in 2 weeks that Raw didn't play something that y'all called me on, and I was like, oh, that happened? So, it's whatever. But, so yeah, apparently Bailey gets her tail kicked by Iyo, so I guess we know about that now.
I will mention, I did see Bailey Thursday night in Milwaukee. Lovely young lady, or lovely lady. I guess we're about the same age. She may be older, I don't know. Yep. But, yeah.
And that interview will be going live on Spotify. No, I'm kidding. We didn't get that.
Oh, man, we didn't get that.
That was his OnlyFans run.
No,
Thank you.
wait, now we just got canceled. We just got canceled. God dang. All right. So anyway. Oh man, video starts out. So you're a hugger. No.
Jeez.
Oh no. All right. So look. So Iyo goes for a lockup. Naomi isn't having it, man. They're in a feud now. Naomi's pissed, so she starts going straight for some closed right hand fists. She beats Iyo around the ring until Iyo gets the upper hand, utilizing a Hurricane Rana from the top rope, which sends Naomi into the corner where she receives a drop kick. I know it has a specific name. I cannot remember the name of it. When they're in the corner and they do that running drop kick, that drop kick style has a name, and I just haven't been able to remember it. It's like a lay down drop kick or something like that when they're sitting.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, they work to the adjacent corner, and Naomi changes the momentum, hitting a second rope enziguri and utilizing the second rope for a bulldog to get a near fall before the commercial break. When we come back from that commercial break, we find Iyo Sky sending Naomi to the ropes, where she reverses and puts Iyo on the apron, where she sends her to the corner head first and capitalizes with a cross body. She then gets Iyo in a sit down position in the corner and does a slew of offense to Iyo and caps it off with a split-legged drop from the top rope, or I think it was the second rope, for a near fall. So basically, she beats her down while she's sitting in the corner. Iyo lays down, and then Naomi jumps off that second rope, does the splits, and lands on her. Is the gimmick. And gets a near fall for that.
It's a gimmick.
Do what?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. She then gets in a sit-down position in the car. I already said that. After Iyo rolls to the apron, where she catches Naomi and drops her throat on the top rope, kind of grabs her, hits her on the top rope kind of gimmick. She drop kicks her into the corner where she can hit the double knees from the other side of the ring, the adjacent side of the ring. Iyo goes for a top rope maneuver after that, but Naomi catches her to shift the momentum once again after a superplex. They work back and forth to a standing position until Iyo hits a split-legged roll over maneuver into a double stomp. It was kind of like a back roll maneuver. I didn't really know what to call it, so I'm not doing it justice. Either way, Iyo then goes for a drop kick as Naomi is leaning against the bottom rope, and Naomi moves to catch her in a double knee bomb on the ground. She sets up for a split-legged moonsault, but Dakota Kai and she sets Iyo up for a split-legged moonsault from the top, which is one of her finishers. But Dakota Kai and Damage Control come down to distract. Iyo grabs Naomi off the top rope, sets her up for the over the moonsault, and Iyo Sky is going to win this one with the over the moonsault. After the match, Damage Control gets in and beats down Naomi. Before that actually happens, Naomi starts just throwing bombs, tries to fight back as much as she can, but the numbers are overpowering, not to mention Asuka blows the mist right in the face of Naomi. Bianca Belair comes out to aid her friend, and she beats the hell out of Damage Control for a little bit, but eventually they get back in the ring. She was getting ready to set up one of them for the KOD, if I'm not mistaken, and then everybody got in, starts beating her down. The crowd starts to chant Bayley, 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 but Bayley is nowhere to be found as Damage Control's music hits. They are left standing tall as we fade into our next segment. It's important to note that Naomi crawls over Bianca to shield her from like stomps and stuff like that. So how do you guys feel about this evolution of this match and of this situation? Where do you guys think we're going?
It's, I don't know, it's very interesting because I don't know, maybe a Naomi Bianca tag team match against Kabuki Warriors, at least for that, and then we got Iyo versus Bayley for the championship. One thing I want to mention about the Mist, Naomi sold the hell out of that. She legit sold the hell out of it. That was one of the best Mist sales I've seen in a while. Just it was fantastic. I'm legit waiting on somebody to no sell the Mist. Like, this is the time and the era for somebody to no sell it.
It has been no sold before by Ming.
Ming knows that makes sense.
Yeah, in WCW, Ming, it was used on Ming, and Ming was like, no.
He's like, no, this is not it. I'm waiting for that again. But all in all, my thoughts. I love the evolution of it. I love how it's building up. Like I said, I see a tag team match between the Kabuki Warriors and Naomi and Bianca.
I could see that. I mean, Naomi and Bianca, it's. I could see it. I really could.
Yeah, and I think that's where we're going. I think that match is going to end up being made at WrestleMania. The Kabuki Warriors do not have a credible tag team to go against, and I think that throwing two people with a lot of star power, namely Naomi and Bianca, can get them onto the show at WrestleMania and also tide them over. If the Kabuki Warriors lose everything, then they can do something like, say, go down to NXT and work with the girls in NXT and bring them up. Can you guys imagine the Kabuki Warriors going down to NXT? They win the NXT women's tag team titles. They win the NXT women's title, and then they just run roughshod over that. Like, I can see that happening as well.
That could be... yeah, I guess I could see that. I'm not as sold on it, but I guess I could see it.
See Asuka. Well, I don't see Asuka Kairi Sane winning the women's title in NXT. That time is come and gone. I feel. I mean, they did it before, but I just feel like that's replaying the same old thing. You know, like, all right, you did this in the main roster. You going back down to NXT to bring up some people. I just don't see them putting the title on Asuka.
That's fair. I mean, they did it with Becky.
Yeah,
So
that's what I'm saying. They did it with Becky, so
yeah. So Becky has more star power than Asuka, so arguably.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see. That's at the very least the tag team matches. That's where I see that going. Definitely. So I mean, even 2 weeks out from WrestleMania, we still have matches being set up, and we might not even be done yet. We might have more things. The Undertaker doesn't have his match yet. No, I'm just kidding.
But he has a segment apparently.
Of course he is. So does Stone Cold and all of them.
Stone Cold. Yep.
Today is his birthday, by the way.
That's true. Happy birthday to the dead man. So we're gonna run right into our Cody and Nick Aldis talking in the back. We get a reminder that Cody and Reigns are talking tonight. We also get a reminder about Jade Cargill and that she'll be making an appearance on SmackDown next week. Not competing. It specifically says appearance. So
it's getting old. Need her to wrestle.
She will be wrestling after WrestleMania, I promise you. And if not, I really hate this, but if not, they're going to do her and Tiffany Stratton at the opening, and they're going to let her squash Tiffany Stratton, which sucks because Tiffany still has momentum.
I don't see. If they do that, that'll be horrible. That'll be horrible for both of them. It wouldn't make sense. Nah.
Speaking of baby girl Tiffany Stratton.
Oh boy.
We go to the back, or we go from this Jade Cargill reminder to Bianca washing out Naomi's eyes, who's still masterfully selling this, by the way. And Tiffany Stratton walks up behind them and says, "That's a good look for you, Naomi," and walks away. I take back the Jade Cargill thing. I think that Bianca or Naomi is going to be going against Tiffany next week. Just for saying that, I think there's going to be a match there.
Yeah.
I would assume it's going to be Naomi versus Tiffany, and Bianca is probably going to go against Iyo, is what I think is going to happen, and that's what's going to set up the whole match. Could be wrong. We'll see. But if I were booking it, that's how I would book it. So then we go to one of the funnier segments of the night. KO is in Nick Aldis's office talking about Logan Paul, and Pretty Deadly come in and interrupt them, complaining that they aren't on WrestleMania. When KO protests, they say that he knows nothing about tag teams and he's living in the past after he mentions being the tag team champion once.
Last year.
So KO says he wants a match against them with his tag team partner, and he looks around and he's like, I got good chemistry with the guy I tagged with last time, and he says, you want to be my tag team partner next week? Randy Orton is just standing there, pondering, which scares the hell out of Kit Wilson, who falls back, and Randy says that his old man used to sport the same jacket back in the 80s. Before accepting KO's proposition, and then KO says, "Hey, let's go hang out in your bus," and they go off screen. Pretty Deadly start talking some crap, and Nick says, "I wouldn't stand so close together." And they're like, "What are you talking about?" As he says that, Kevin punches them both straight in the face at the same time and yells, "I did it, Randy! Look, Randy, I did it!" As he walks off screen. Obviously, we're doing that match next week.
Those two are a treasure. Holy crap, they are a treasure.
Yeah, they're all. I love them.
Yeah, definitely. KO is the funny version of Drew McIntyre. He's like, if Majin Buu had stages, KO is like the happy Majin Buu. And Drew is like the kid Majin Buu, or like the teen Majin Buu, or whatever. I don't know. Bringing some Dragon Ball Z into this. Maybe it's too much.
No, I get you. So Kevin is Majin, Drew is Super Buu.
Yeah, exactly.
Who AJ Styles must be Kid Buu then.
Nah, it's Brock
He's
Lesnar.
built like
Brock
him.
Lesnar, Kid Boo. No,
Man.
don't tell him I said that. He might pee on me. All right, so moving on. Moving on.
I guess it's not too soon anymore.
Speaking of AJ Styles, we're gonna have our AJ Styles and LA Knight segment. So we're going to basically, it's the setup for this is AJ Styles was training and a camera crew went to talk to AJ Styles about his training. When the video starts, we hear a horn honking, and he's like, "What the hell is that?" And he gets up and he goes out. It's LA Knight honking his horn, or AJ's horn, whatever. He's honking a horn. And then after that, we cut to police footage. And LA Knight gets arrested. AJ Styles talks some trash. When LA Knight's put in the car, he says, "I hope you guys are getting paid well for this." And that's kind of the end of that. Like, I didn't really want to go deep into that because, meh. You know what I mean? Meh. It was a thing. I mean, it was different, which was good, and it pushed the story. But maybe I'm just not as involved in this story as I should be. You guys feel that at all?
It's a random story. I mean, not a random story, but
it's just a side shoot story. It's not anything that's dealing with the current story. It's just kind of there.
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, even though there was a build up to it, it almost feels like they were like, well, you know, AJ Styles and LA Knight need a match. Oh yeah, they both need a match. Let's put them together. You know, it's kind of how it feels like. Even though it was starting at the Elimination Chamber, and it's a redo of an old feud. Like, it's still just meh. It's meh.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they're just trying to show off AJ's build at this point. That's the only reason that he has a match at WrestleMania with LA Knight.
Yeah, he's over here looking like AJ Macho Man Randy Savage or something.
Like, AJ ate AJ. That's not AJ. That's not the AJ I grew up with. Like, This man is just like, he's like,
Macho Man AJ Savage. There you go. That's what he would call him.
Macho Man AJ Savage.
Yeah. So he's got the arms. He has the same damn arms. It's crazy. But anyway, so now we're going to get into the Street Profits versus the AOP. Good match for a couple reasons. One of which is this either ended a feud or is continuing a feud. I don't know which way we're going with it.
I think continuing. There's no way it's ending after that.
So I thought it was a good idea to put them together. So we'll jump right into it. We're going to start off with Dawkins and Razor in the ring, and they just start throwing bombs at each other. Obviously, Dawkins and Razor. I mean, Razor and Akeem are both just massive monsters. Every punch they throw is going to be a bomb. But then you have Dawkins, who's also a bomb thrower in there. So they start swinging back and forth. And then Akeem ends up getting a blind tag in the ring, who starts throwing bombs of his own. Razor then gets a tag back into the ring, a couple quick tags there. And we just go back to the same hard-hitting offense. The Street Profits get the upper hand after Montez Ford does a kick from the outside, which, by the way, was heel work. But it was kind of something they kind of had to do. Both members of the AOP end up at the end of the rampway, and Montez attempts a front flip dive onto Akeem and Razor, but they catch him and power bomb him into Dawkins, who was just coming around the corner to help out his boy, and they said, "Here, catch a body."
Sick. It was some sick work, man.
I gotta say, the fact that, and here's the big thing. Here's the big thing with that. Montez Ford's body stopped.
It did.
It just stopped. Like, he jumped over the top rope with a front flip. So I just want to like, for anybody who doesn't think about this, he jumped over the top rope, which is about 10 feet in the air. And then he grown man, taller than you. I'm pretty sure he's taller than you, or as tall. Either way, he's about he's about 230, 240 most likely with his height. And the fact that he was just stopped by these two guys is impressive. And then they threw him like he was a sack of potatoes at Dawkins. I don't know, man. It's wild. AOP is crazy.
Yeah. Monsters.
So we go to a commercial break so Dawkins can find his arms. And we come back with AOP still in control. And they're right at the point where they're getting a near fall on Montez Ford. Akeem and Razar do a pretty good job keeping the ring cut in half for a little bit, but Montez eventually works to the hot tag, and Dawkins just starts destroying the AOP. I mean, like, this hot tag was a good hot tag. We're talking clotheslines, we're talking just jumping and just throwing his body at him, all of this good stuff. He hits Akeem with the silencer and follows it up with a splash and an enziguri in the corner, but Akeem ends up powering out, reversing it, and then taking control of Montez Ford. Because at this point, Ford had ended up being back in the ring. So they hit the final chapter, and Dawkins ends up coming to break up the count. They work until AOP tries for another finisher, their second finisher, but Dawkins comes in and removes Razor from the ring, and Montez Ford will roll up Akeem for the 1, 2, 3, and the Street Profits are going to win via a roll-up. Again, not a strong victory for your face, but the thing is it's believable because it is AOP.
There you go. That's what I was waiting for, that word, believable. Because I love the Street Profits, but there's no way. I'm sorry. There's no way. And look, Angelo Dawkins, he's the power of the group. Like, this man was bulldozing both of them. You saw how he knocked dude off of his feet on the outside? That was insane. That actually sent chills down my spine. I was like, damn, I did not see that coming. But I will say, that man is... I like Angelo Dawkins. I like Montez Ford too, but Angelo Dawkins, in my eyes, has improved the most out of that group. And honestly, the man is dropping weight. Has anybody else noticed that?
I have. Since the last time I saw him, he has dropped a noticeable amount of weight. So he's getting in shape, man. He knows their time is coming. Their run's coming.
Man's fit. Man's is fit. So I look forward to more of that.
Indeed.
But overall, I think it was a good match.
Indubitably. Dresh, how you feeling about this advancement in the tournament here?
Honestly, I'm not upset by it at all. I like the step forward. AOP, personally, I like the team. I like the way they go. I don't know. I don't have a whole lot more to say on it on top of what you guys said.
Big meaty men.
This is one of those. Yeah, I don't have a huge amount for it. It was, I mean, I'd like to see OP Street Profits. I don't know.
Okay. So
I don't like Montez Ford. I don't know why. There's something about him I don't care for.
Because the motherfucker's cocky.
Yeah.
He's cocky as hell.
I don't like Montez Ford, and I think that weighs heavily on the way I view that tag team's output. AOP, I don't know. There's just something, like I said, something about the way they've wrestled here in the last couple months that I like. The way I see them every time they come out, I like to see them. I like to see the run. I'd like to see him do more with it. So I don't like Montez Ford. That's my takeaways. I don't like Montez Ford. It's a shitty takeaway, but it's what I got.
Oh, I know why you don't like him.
Why?
Oh, I'll tell you. I'll tell you why you don't like him right now.
Because Bianca?
Because Bianca Belair, son, you already knew. Because he dated Bianca Belair.
I don't have any problems. I got no problem with Bianca Belair. What you talking about?
Oh, I know you got no problem with her. That's the. That's the problem.
Man.
I know you ain't got no problem with Bianca.
Like, I ain't got no problem with Bianca.
No,
all right, Tiffy time. All right, Tiffy time.
Man,
Hey,
man.
I love me some Tiffy time, man. You know me.
I know you do.
Oh,
I know.
We've seen it.
Every day.
We've
Every
seen
day I'm
it.
like, hey, you seen this picture of Tiffany?
Like, what? Why?
Oh
She ain't even
man.
wrestling.
Oh shoot.
We
Okay,
have
look.
seen Tiffy time.
So we're gonna switch to the back and see Heyman talking to Roman Reigns on the phone, and he confirms that Cody is here alone, and that his fans are waiting for him. I think that was the Body Shop song I just did.
It was.
That was the beat.
It was.
I don't know.
I was like,
It's very
it's like,
similar.
what is this?
I got problems. I don't know. I heard that song today at work. I don't know. Unfortunately, it's on our playlist. I know y'all heard it too if y'all were there.
Yeah, it's on the playlist.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was our last match of the night, by the way. Because now we're gonna get into a Cody Rhodes segment that, with commercials involved, was Dresh. The survey says how long?
I didn't pay attention to how long. I hate the long segments.
I was gonna say, if you had to take a guess, what's the magic number lately?
It's at least a half hour.
Oh, it wasn't.
30
It was
minutes?
actually 20 minutes. 22 minutes,
Huh.
including
Okay.
commercials. Yep.
Mm.
And I also timed it. Fun fact: 4.5 minutes of that was intros.
That makes
Again,
sense.
not
this-
surprised.
Was Reigns just?
3-minute intro from Roman Reigns.
Now, did you see when Reigns did his at the end? I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Did you see the woman in the crowd just absolutely rip into Reigns about
Man,
his
what was she?
insecurities and how
Oh.
he needed?
It actually
She
broke
awarded him
him
a
for
new
a second
ass.
too.
I saw it. I was like, yo, she just went in. They had to bleep out what she was saying.
She did. She went hard.
Welcome to Milwaukee.
Oh man. So yeah, that was hilarious. I actually didn't put notes on that, so I'm glad y'all brought it up because that was actually being talked about everywhere. That this lady just ripped into him.
Ripped.
So all right, so the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes segment. So Roman's gonna start out by saying that he's there alone, like he said he would be, and that the crowd needs to acknowledge him, and then he calls out Cody. Cody gets in the ring and asks, Roman asks Cody if he came alone. Cody said he's a man. Cody said, "Hey man, if you came alone, then I came alone." And Reigns was like, "All right, cool." So Reigns says that Cody is a fool and stupid from his perspective. Says that he's not fit to be the face of the company because he's an idiot and thinks with his heart and not his head. Reigns then says that Rollins can't be trusted because Reigns didn't come out last week to help him, and that Rollins was in the Shield. Wait, what? Reigns says that Rollins can't be trusted because Rollins didn't come out last week to help him, and that Rollins was in the Shield with him. That Reigns was in the Shield with him, and Rollins betrayed him. So why do you think you can trust him? Reigns and Rollins, when you're typing it, it's so easy to get those mixed up. Tell you what. Anyway, Cody says that he remembers the Shield well, and he remembers being the first one to beat them in a tag team. He says that Rollins might hate him, but he hates Roman way more. Cody then asks Roman Reigns that, Cody then asks Roman Reigns, while you're talking about Seth, can you really trust The Rock? He questions who's really in charge, the tribal chief, or the final boss. Roman says that it's an old question and that he sounds like a true politician. He says all that Cody does is promise things, but he never keeps his promises. Reigns says that Cody is number 2 and he means that with respect, and that he's the greatest number 2 of all time because he'll never be number 1 because Reign is, of course, number 1 forever. Cody says that just like he and Cody looked in the mirror and wanted to be the next Flair, Austin, Rock, Cena, Hogan, he knows that the next generation will do the same. Will look in the mirror and pretend that they're the next Roman Reigns. He says, that is your destiny, but you've overlooked mine. When it comes to WrestleMania and when it comes to defeating you for the championship that you have held all of this time, I'm not number 2. I'm number 1. Or I am the one. Good luck at WrestleMania. He extends his hand for a handshake and Roman acts like he's going to do it, but then he doesn't do it and he shakes the hand of Paul Heyman instead. Roman leaves the ring, stands in the entrance and snaps his fingers as his music hits and the bloodline starts to come through the crowd from the back. And they stare at Cody. Cody looks at them as they close in around him and they move around the ring on opposite sides to meet with Reigns. Cody's concerned face then turns into a smile as Jay and Seth come out of the crowd and meet on the sides. They end up getting on the ring apron and they stare down the bloodline as they make their way up the ramp as Cody Rhodes' music now starts. And we fade out the end of SmackDown. Just real quick, our setup for next week that we know of, we actually know of a lot. It's actually probably the whole card minus Tiffy Time and Naomi. So, it's Dakota Kai. That's right. Bianca Belair is going against Dakota Kai. The Street Profits will go against Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. The New Catch Republic will go against Legado del Fantasma. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton will go against Pretty Deadly. Jade Cargill will make an appearance. And like I said, I would assume that we will be getting Tiffy Time versus Naomi. But we shall see. It might also be on Main Event. It might also be on the Twitter 5-minute matches. Could be anywhere, but we'll see.
They started those yet? I didn't think those were ready to roll yet.
They've been rolling. They've been rolling about a week after the. Actually, they've been rolling since we've been rolling.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So guys, just wanted to, before we hit the news, I just wanted to ask you: do you guys acknowledge Roman Reigns? Or are you a Cody crybaby? Yep. That makes sense. I don't think a lot of people are buying this whole Cody's about to win the title thing.
I love Roman. I love the bloodline. This is the perfect time to strike the iron for Cody. If they don't do it, then he's never going to win it. So
if they don't do it for Cody, he will leave the company. I promise you, when his contract is up, especially with Dustin's contract ending with AEW, they'll go somewhere else. They'll tag together at AEW. But if WWE's not going to give him, because they're not going to give him a third shot. If he doesn't get it this time, he will not get another shot.
I think
if they don't give him another shot, he will leave.
I think he gets a disco round. It just wouldn't make sense for him not to get it, unfortunately. I don't like it. A lot of people don't like it, but it is what it is. He's getting the belt.
I'm a Roman Reigns fan through and through with it. I love the bloodline. I love this character of Roman's. It's his best character ever.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I agree. As much as I stand with the tribal chief, I think he's going to drop it. I really do.
You know, originally the plans obviously were originally the plans were obviously for Roman Reigns to go over The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
If we want to believe that story. Which means that Roman Reigns would have 100% have beaten Hulk Hogan's record. And
Now,
that is the big conundrum
just,
that we're in.
Just thinking with everything they've got going. Since we have that tag, night 1. What if Cody gets hurt night 1 and can't do night 2? So they postpone his title shot until SummerSlam. You've got this that I don't remember, at least I know I haven't watched all WrestleManias, but I can't remember one since they've started doing the 2 nights where your main eventer is running night 1 and night 2.
You know what? That's crazy that you say that. Because I never thought of that. But I can see that happening. And also that stops Reigns and Cody from fighting twice, number one. How in addition to that,
so you get a Rock betrayal night 1 to the point where something happens and Cody gets hurt, but you get that Rock betrayal night 1. So in order to fill the spot where Cody can't compete, you get your Roman Rock night 2. And then Cody still gets his shot at SummerSlam. And we have to listen to the finish my story shit for another 2 months.
I think that it would be more likely that Seth turns and then they all beat down Cody.
Yeah.
Here's a third theory, and again, this is random. What if Cody does get hurt? All right. Final night of WrestleMania, he shows up, he's limping. He still goes one-on-one with Roman Reigns. He has the spiritualist comeback, it's a superhero comeback, like, I will not give up. I will not go down. You hear Damian Priest music. He walks down, he cashes in. He hits Cody with the South of Heaven. But then all of a sudden, Roman Reigns comes out of nowhere, spears. 1, 2, 3. Tribal Chief contained. Remains champ. Cody's story continues because of interference with Damian Priest. And now becomes Cody's story again to go back and fight again. Again, random thought.
Well, the idea of Damian Priest trying something does make a lot of sense.
He has to do something because we know they're gonna lose those tag belts, right? We're in agreement on that, right?
The odds are so stacked against them. Yeah, I don't see them coming out with them.
Yeah.
Also, I think the tag belts are getting split. So SmackDown is either going to go. I think the SmackDown Championship the SmackDown Tag Championship is going to Grayson Waller and Austin Theory.
I could see that.
And then you have Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and Logan Paul all with gold. I think that's going to happen. Because I think that Logan Paul is going to win at Mania.
It makes sense.
But I do not see any way of. I would be actually shocked if WWE did not bring Roman Reigns holding the title at least until SummerSlam to beat Hogan's record. They want that record off the books. I know they do.
I don't know, but I mean, at the same time, it's Cody's time to shine. Like,
I mean, you all right?
Last year I knew he was gonna win last year. This year, I question mark. I don't know. It feels like it's his time. Like, he's out here signing autographs, kissing babies, doing charity.
He's got the title, or he's got the cover of the game.
You know what? I'm actually really curious right now. While we're finishing up this part of the discussion, I do want to ask anyone who's watching right now. I'm very curious as to what you guys think, because there's a bunch of different theories. If anybody wants to say in the chat which way they think it's going, if they think Roman's going to win, if they think Cody's going to win, if they think Damian's going to cash in, if they think The Rock is going to turn, if they think Cody or Seth Rollins is going to turn, what do you guys think is going to happen? How would you book it? Because really, when we're giving our opinions like this, we're all just fantasy booking in our head. It's how we would book it. I'm just very curious. I know we have 6 viewers right now, and if anybody wants to put in their 2 cents, please do. If there's another avenue that we haven't thought of, or if you want to echo something that Dreschen, myself, Hangy has said, please let us know. I'm very curious, because there's a lot of different ways they could take this thing, and the injury route has me very intrigued right now. Sorry, G, I know I interrupted you, but I was just thinking, I was like, man, we can get more people in on this conversation, because damn, y'all are right. It can go hundreds of different ways.
Yeah, I don't know. It can legit go it could go either way. It could go like the way you said, Seth turns on Cody, but where does that leave Seth versus Drew? Does he just kind of finish out his match and just go about his merry way, or does Cody interfere, like beats Seth over the head with something, and then Damian cashes in? Then it could legit go anywhere.
Yep, and that's the truth too, man. It's like us talking about it now is actually getting me so hyped, because of the fact that it's making me realize more and more now just how many hands are in this one match. Like how many fingers are in the pot, or whatever the saying is. You know what I mean? So it's pretty crazy. If they work in a Damian cash in, or a Damian Priest cash in anywhere, like, awesome.
I'll be happy as hell. I ain't gonna lie.
Yep. Now, it doesn't even matter who he cashes in on, whether it's Cody, whether it's Rollins, which I feel like would have to be Rollins or Drew. Realistically, he's not going to leave the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
But the thing is that desperation, right? It's that desperation. Like, Priest and Finn lose the titles. And now...
Wouldn't be surprised if they lost the titles and he cashed it on that.
Can you do that? Can you cash in on a tag team?
It doesn't stipulate that I've seen that it has to be a singles. I don't think it stipulates singles.
That would be interesting. Can you guys like imagine that? Like they lose, and then immediately Damian's like, "We're not losing our gold," and he's like, "We're cashing in," and then they just freaking south of heaven somebody and takes the title back. It does say any title.
It does.
It says any title. It doesn't stipulate it has to be a singles title.
You know how I ain't gonna lie, it's interesting, but you know how disappointed I would be, because Damian is selfish.
I want to see Gunther and Damian have a program. That's what I really want to see, if I'm being honest. But that's just me. That's the craziness there. All right. So let's do a quick wrap up. Do some news. By the way, to everybody watching, we are gonna do a full WrestleMania predictions. It won't be an hour long, I don't think. It should only be like 30 minutes long. We're gonna do a WrestleMania predictions. We're probably gonna do it when we do SmackDown, which we're gonna do the SmackDown before WrestleMania, either right after the Hall of Fame, probably right after the Hall of Fame. It's gonna be a late night. We're gonna be doing reviews after every single event, WrestleMania weekend. We are off that weekend. We have committed to y'all, so we're gonna be doing that. We'll be reminding you guys of that next week as well. But overall, gentlemen, SmackDown, what'd y'all think? Let's give it a something out of 10 rating.
7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I'd go a little bit lighter on it. I'd go about a 6.
Okay. What was y'all's favorite What was your high point? What was your low point of the night?
Ooh.
My low point, in all honesty, was the very first match, that Rey Mysterio match, and it wasn't because it wasn't hype. It's because I love Rey Mysterio, and you know, Dom's fucking over his dad again, and I know that's his character. I get it, but I like Rey, and it's hard to see Rey lose like that, you know, especially when he takes his own move. That's rough. High point of the night? Oof. Watching them arrest, no, that was the other night.
He's like, anytime Montez Ford got hurt, that was a high point of the night.
Well, Montez, oh yeah, hit him harder,
throw him at Dawkins, throw him again.
No, I was thinking, you know, AJ Styles getting arrested. That thing.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right.
I will say my low point was Rey Mysterio. Like I'm just confused on why Dominic's back in the mix, but I mean, I guess it'll make sense later. I don't know. It just felt he was thrown in there and just unnecessary. But it's gonna make sense later, I'm pretty sure. High point is legitimately AOP versus Street Profits. That match was good. I liked it.
It was a hype match.
It was a very hype match. I loved it. I loved that Angelo Dawkins going out there running rampant. It was cool. But I will say the ending of Raw, I mean not Raw, the ending of SmackDown kind of left a little spark there for me, you know? Just the fact that, you know, you see Jay with his hoodie on and Seth with his hoodie on, because now the Bloodline ain't the only ones that have hoodies. You know, everybody's got hoodies now.
They say you aren't the only MFers in the crowd.
Yeah, right. Like they just popped up like, yo, Jay looked like he's ready to fight for real. All you see him doing is just like this. He's just like, yeah. Hey. I'm like, what is going on?
I'm telling you, I will say this with Jimmy and Jey Uso, by the way, the faces they make at each other be wild me out.
Insane.
I'm afraid for
it.
them. Like I can't even make the faces they're making.
No, my eyes don't pop out that far.
It's that Samoan. It's that Samoan in them. That's what it is.
Remind me never to piss a Samoan off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say, with my rating, I would say I would give it a 7.5 or 8 out of 10. I was very happy with it. My high point was the entirety of the segment. The entirety of the segment with Naomi and Iyo Sky, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Tiffy Time, all of that wrapped in together. I loved every second of that whole program that they're doing. That was my high.
Okay, now let's be realistic. If Tiffy Time wasn't involved, how would it go?
Same. That would still be my high point. Tiffy Time was definitely a bonus. She was a unexpected bonus, but 100% was 100% was with or without Tiffy Time my high point of the night. I loved it. I love women's wrestling when it gets hype. Like it's fantastic. My low point for me is actually Dresh's high point.
Really?
You didn't like the work of AJ getting arrested?
No. Which is crazy. It's and different things for different people. Like 100%. I just didn't like it. I just wasn't a fan.
And they took him to jail and he failed the drug test, you know.
I just wasn't a fan of the way they pushed the story. And I'm also not invested in the story. I'm actually more invested in every other story that they did that night than that story.
I'm not invested in the story. That's why I liked it.
Okay. Makes sense.
I don't like the story, so hey, arrest him. Get him the hell out of there. Because that actually feels it feels more real than anything else in that story thus far. You know, him being arrested for trespassing or home invasion. Because the very last thing he said was, "You should have invested your money in a gate instead of video games." So, you know, arresting his ass for a home invasion feels more real than the rest of this shit.
That's fair.
I will say that segment was kind of hype because he pulled up on AJ. He pulled up on it. Was like, yo, let's throw hands. Like, come on, let's throw hands.
I guess it's hard. I guess it's hard to get more real than that then. But I don't know.
Look, no, it's the crazy thing. He said, if you're not at SmackDown next week, I'm coming back. I'm like, whoa, I'm coming back. What do you mean?
He did.
He said it's on site.
Hey, man, if someone whops you with a chair in the middle of an Elimination Chamber match, you'd be the same way.
Yeah, I guess so. Pull it up to somebody's house like, yo, I'm ready to throw hands.
Yep. So, we got a couple news stories for y'all, so thank y'all for sticking with us. I do appreciate it. So, without further ado, I know y'all have missed it. G, if you will cue these noise sound effects. All right, Dresh, hit us with the news, brother.
All right, so outside of SmackDown, I mean, it's only been the 2 days that we've had. Over the weekend, you generally don't run into too much in the way of news unless somebody got hurt, somebody feels better, so on and so forth. Like I posted on the Facebook earlier today, it was announced that Asuka is going to be able to wrestle for WrestleMania. She's been cleared, so it's good to see that we're going to have the Empress back because that would have really shifted that whole story they were running. Next thing I've got is Matt Hardy went on record about him being at Raw last week because everybody's been freaking out on the internet about, oh my God, Hardy was there. He's coming back to WWE. No, Matt Hardy was there because his wife had a friend that had a skybox and wanted them to come. That's why he was there. His wife wanted to go see WWE. He was like, but he did sign autographs. So any rumors that you have saying that he's coming back, he is not. He's happy where he is.
Yep. Absolutely.
We already went through my third segment, which is the fact that Jade Cargill has officially announced that she will have her first SmackDown appearance next Friday. So she will be on the next SmackDown, but she has officially signed with SmackDown. So we've talked about her. We've looked into it. It'll be good to see her in action on our stages.
They need to put her in a match.
I assume she'll be in a match.
It's coming. She's going to squash Tiffy Time, and I'm going to be upset. And is that it for the news, my good sir?
Last thing I've got, I was waiting to see if anybody else had any more comments on that. The last thing I've got, I know you guys have seen over the last few days, Bayley has been making a big stink about the fact that she wants the women to headline both nights of WrestleMania 40.
I did see that.
How she believes that the women could carry WrestleMania 40 just as well as the men, so she doesn't understand why they're not headlining both nights. Not even just one night. She wants them both.
So I agree. They could.
They could, but I don't think the storylines are built strong enough. Personally,
thank you. That's what I'm saying. Like they could headline it just off of wrestling, pure wrestling. But with this storyline that they've built for the Bloodline, it's too deep to not be the main point of WrestleMania. Like, unfortunately, that's just what it is. Again, they could headline.
I'm not against them building a nice, deep storyline over the next year for 41 and let them have it. I don't care. I'm not against it because, as we've all said here recently, the women's side of things is looking just as good in the men in some areas. You know, it's not just about the TNA anymore. They actually have strong movesets. They've got the physique for wrestling now. They've got, you know, they can take a bump, whereas before, you know, if you put a good shoulder charge into one of them, you were going to deflate a fake breast. So, you know, Charlotte Flair, I'm sorry, you know. But, yeah. So, no, I agree that the women can do it. it's just there's no storyline strong enough for this year for them to take it. I don't even think they'd be able to handle taking the headline for one night this year.
Also,
like, it's nothing against what Bailey's saying, just the storylines are too big on the men's side for them to go, oh, no, main event tonight is this.
Bailey and Iyo do need to main event night one. That is promised to her. Like, when you win the Rumble, you go to the main event of WrestleMania.
Okay.
So, Bailey and Iyo need to main event night one. Is the story main event worthy compared to everything else? No. This is one of those times where in wrestling, you have to be brutally honest instead of being politically correct. Right?
Yeah.
When Bailey makes the claim that the women should headline both WrestleManias, both nights of WrestleMania, there are only a handful, and I mean a few select women that are able to headline WrestleMania and make it good. I can probably name them all on one hand. You have Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Bayley, Asuka.
Hey. You forgetting somebody.
Who am I missing?
Rhea.
Oh, Rhea. Yeah,
Rhea,
I meant Rhea.
What are you doing?
I meant for Rhea.
I will fight you.
No, I was thinking Rhea and I forgot. So 2 hands. So in Rhea, that's 6. So there's 6 that can do it. So is it possible? Yes. I mean, needed? I don't think it's needed. I mean, like, there can be great matches. I mean, I don't know. But you do have to have the story. You do have to have the build, and the bloodline takes over everything right now. Literally everything. So next year, I'd be happy to see it. I mean, headlining WrestleMania, we've seen Charlotte and Rhea. We've seen Becky and was it Sasha?
I think Sasha was
Becky and Charlotte.
Yeah. Becky and Charlotte I cannot remember, but it was somebody that legit headline.
I say so. I mean, we
main evented.
Yeah. So, it's just what's going to draw the most money and how was it built and how did the storylines do? I agree with Bailey that it's something that should happen if it's built correctly. Like, you can't.
It's not something you can just come up a month before and go, we're doing that. No, you're gonna have to take, like, the bloodline. This has been building for years.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true. Honestly, the storyline with Bailey and Damage Control, it honestly would not be a bad WrestleMania main event, because of the story. But again, that bloodline story is just overpowering because it is legit thrown in our face with 30, 40, 20-minute segments.
Yeah.
So, and then again, the past, they keep bringing up the past, so it's built for years. So,
Yep. So, but yeah, we got a lot of good topics talked about. We are running late, so we are going to end it. I mean, this plus all of our technical difficulties. It's like 10:30 now. Where I'm at least. So let's go ahead and end it here short. We got a lot of shows we're going to put in the next 2 weeks, gentlemen and fans watching. Usually when we get to the hour 30 mark is when we start losing people. Let me just check. Yeah,
we've
it's
lost
just the
everyone.
2 viewers. We have basically lost everybody except for you two. So, without further ado, I'm going to do it anyway because it's what we do. If you want good news, if you want good reviews, and if you want good interviews, you come to, gentlemen.
It's all a work.
It's all a work. Y'all have a great night. Thank you for watching us and following and subscribing and commenting and liking and supporting us and building this great community that we're building. And you guys have a great night. We'll see you soon.